Hello everybody, I'm going to be sharing a Piles of Paragraphs tag of the month kit with you today. This is the February 2021 tag kit. For anybody that enjoys this video and feels that it's something that they would like to play along with, I'll leave the link to Laurie's shop, Piles of Paragraphs. She has an Etsy store. I'll leave that in the description box below for you, but let me just hold this up so that you can see Laurie Padilla, Piles of Paragraphs. So this is the kit. It came with this gorgeous thank you card, which I will be saving probably to use in my junk journal. Isn't that just gorgeous? It coordinates beautifully with this month's kit as well. So as always, you've got an example here of what you might like to do with the kit. Laurie always says, please feel free to use the pieces in the kit that work for you and add your own items as you like. But the important thing is for you to enjoy the process. So this is this month's kit. We've got this gorgeous little lace embroidery flower. Isn't that pretty? So all pinks and teals and greens this month. We've got various trims. I love these. The colours in this kit are just absolutely gorgeous. Happy colours, which I think we all need at the moment. And then these are the paper elements. So let me just quickly show you here. We've got a vellum tag piece there. Just love the colours in this one. And then she always includes a tag base that you can use if you want to. Okay, so let me just start off by telling you the measurements of this tag base. It's 2 7/8 by 5.5, I think. Yes, 5.5 inches. Now, I absolutely love that we have just got so many options this month, which is fantastic because it gives you choices. I've had a quick play around with these, and I think I've decided that I was going to add the teal at the top. I really like that. And then had I decided on this one here or this one? I think the polka dots. I like that. And I'm just going to use a regular glue stick to glue these down. So I'm just going to use a piece of deli paper. You could use parchment paper just to catch the excess glue and stop myself getting in a mess. So let me just see how I want to do this, because I want to save as many of the scraps as I can. Let's have a look. I do want this piece here to go at the bottom. I like that a lot. And then that in the middle. So let's do that. Let's glue this one down first. In fact, what I'll do is I'll apply the glue to the tag itself. So here we go. And we can stick that down at the top there. So we can trim the excess off. Then I wanted, let me just see, then what I'll do, let me just unglue that, then I'll have that one there at the bottom. Let me just move that over slightly. Of course, with glue stick, you've got a little bit of wiggle room. There we go, just make sure that that's glued firmly down. And then I wanted that one there. And those can overlap like that. So let me just make myself a pencil mark so that I know where to apply my glue. So I'm just going to apply the glue now to the base of my tag. And this will save the excess pieces of paper getting all sticky and in a mess. So that one's going to go there like that. Make sure that's right to the very edge. And then stick this down here as well. Let me just make a mark, because what I'm going to do, in fact, I'll do it on the other side, because what I'm going to do this time is apply the glue directly to, let me just move that out of the way. Apply the glue directly to the back of the paper this time. Let me have it this way round, just because I'm right-handed and it's easier for me to do that. There we are. Open that out so that I can use this part here and stick my polka dot paper down there like that. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love that. And now I'm just going to wait for this to dry for a second or two and just trim around the edges, and then I've still got some scraps left to use in another project. I've trimmed around the edges, and this is what I've got so far. And I think what I'd like to do is just add a couple more bits and pieces just to disguise the joins. I'd love to have this one here, but it's just too wide, and if I try to trim it, I'm going to chop off the edge of the flower. So I think what I'm going to do is just very carefully just maybe trim around this. I think this is a sticker as well, so I'm going to attach it to a plain piece of white paper once I've trimmed around the edges as well. So we'll do this on both sides. Doesn't have to be perfect, especially if it's a sticker. You're not going to see any imperfections anyway, so I'll do the same on the other side. I've cut my flower trim down, and at first I thought it was this piece here that I was going to use, but actually I've decided to use this part here. Now this is washi sticker. I thought it was, and I've actually glued this down to a piece of plain white paper, because if I'd have stuck this on straight on top, all you'd have been able to see, because it's see-through washi tape, is just the design underneath, and it would have just got lost. So I'm going to use this here like this. I am going to just stick this down with regular glue stick. Here we go. Let's use plenty of glue here and stick it down from this side here. Let me just do it this way round, and that will disguise that that join and just make that more pleasing to my eye anyway. There we go. Stick that down there like that. Make sure that's all the way over to the edge, and then I can just trim the excess off. And then, because this is fabric, I'm going to use a tiny bit of Fabri-Tac 3-in-1, and I'm just going to apply it. So use a tissue just to get rid of the excess. In fact, actually, I did decant some of my glue into one of these fine nozzle bottles. That would be better, actually. So I can just apply a fine bead there like that. Smooth it out with my finger because I don't want it bleeding through to the other side, and just stick that down as well. My background is finished, and you can see that I've rounded the corners as well, just using my X-Cut corner rounder. I've also inked around the edges in frayed burlap just to soften everything. Now, anybody who's followed me for a long time knows that I usually like to mount my tags onto a background, usually using craft cardstock, but not always. Last month I used black. This month I'm using some fabric. I cut out one of the tag bases in white cardstock, there it is, and I've just glued a piece of linen fabric over the top. This piece of linen fabric here, cut around the edges. This is the same linen fabric that I used for the spine of my junk journal on Sunday. The colour is slightly different. This was a very pale blue, whereas this is more of a duck egg colour, and I just think that ties in absolutely beautifully. So that will be my tag base. Now I've found myself a focal image which I just think is absolutely perfect. I like you so, but do not know just how to tell it, but seems to me love would be the way to spell it. And seeing as, you know, this is the February tag kit, I just thought a Valentine's theme would be really appropriate. So that's going to be my focal image. I've cut myself another piece of that linen fabric as well, so that I can mount my image onto it. So that's going to go there like that. The glue's dry, and I just want to add a couple of finishing touches. I've cut myself a circle. I folded the piece of paper in half just so that it was slightly longer, and punched this out with my punch here, my circle punch. So that's how that looks. I've clearly inked around the edges. I just want to glue this down. I'm just going to use some of my decanted 3-in-1. These little decanted bottles are from China. I bought these a couple of years ago, lost them and found them when I was tidying up over Christmas. They're really handy to have. So I'm just going to glue that down there like that. Make sure that I've got that nice and central. And then I'm going to glue this gorgeous little flower embellishment down as well. I just think that daisy will look so sweet. So again, we'll just have some of the Fabri-Tac. I'm just going to add it in the center there. That will be enough. And we'll have that there, like that. So that's that. I do want to add some of this pretty lace trim to the bottom. It's not quite long enough, so I'm just going to stretch it. It's not, you know, 100% cotton or anything like that, so it's got a little bit of give. And what I'll do, in fact, let me just grab a piece of deli paper. I'll add the glue to the back of the lace. Which way round does this go? Is there a front and a back? I'm not sure. I think they're pretty much the same. This is the only bugbear with this. This gets in the way. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue just along there like that, and glue this down to the bottom like so. Perfect. And that just adds, you know, a touch of that pink. We're just breaking up the patterns and colours here. So I need to just leave that for a second or two just for that glue to grab. And we're nearly there. The other thing I want to do is just add some of this pretty pink trim here. Which way do I want that to go? Like there, like that, I think. And that's just going to be glued to the top there. I do want to just glue that shut. Add a touch of glue here, like so. There we are. In fact, I wanted it to be like that. And again, we'll just add a touch of glue just along there, like that. I could have sewed this on my sewing machine, but I haven't. And then we can glue that down on the top there like that. Isn't that just so pretty? That's just gorgeous. I love that. And again, I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac. I'm going to use my bottle to do that, just to glue that down. Being really generous in the centre. Here we are. And let's stick that on top. So this is my interpretation of the February tag of the month kit. I think that's absolutely beautiful. The colours are really appealing and it matches beautifully with the new journal that I've made as well. This is my usual scraps journal for 2021. I'll leave the link to this video showing how I made this for anybody who hasn't seen it in the description box below. But you know, doesn't that work beautifully? So it'll end up in there eventually. Haven't got that far yet. I'll also leave the link to the playlist as well, sharing all of the other tag of the month videos that I've done. There's 13 of them now. Laurie started this in February last year. Now I have got a whole heap of scraps left over that I haven't used yet. So I'm just going to do one more very quick project and try and use up some of these bits. I've had a play around, so I do have an idea in mind. What I'm thinking is that those two work really well together. Maybe with that in the middle or this, I'm not sure yet. But what I do want to do, just to tone down this pink just a little bit, it's a bit bright for my taste. I just want to wrap this blue, is it tulle, around here. Let me just grab a piece of deli paper. I'm just going to use one of these roller glue sticks to do that. I'm just going to add a bit of glue just on the side here. This is old. I don't even know whether this still works. Let's add some on the top there as well. And this is how I'm going to fix it in place. I'm just going to wrap that around the back. There we go. In fact, I didn't need to add that glue across the top. What on earth was I thinking? Never mind. Let me just get the excess glue off the top here, because that's going to look untidy and that will bug me. I can probably peel that off. No, never mind. Oh, now I'm getting in a right gluey mess. Right, just get on with it, Nina. So let me just wrap that around. In fact, actually, what I can do, now that I've got that glue at the top, there we go, I can just stick that on there like that, just get rid of the excess. Let me just trim that off. There we go, that's okay. I need to fiddle around with that. I haven't quite, oh yes I have. Right, that will do, that will do. And that will flatten out as I glue everything else down. Now I've cut myself a piece of cardstock to the same width here. So I'm just going to add some glue stick. Let's turn this over just in case I've got any of the excess glue. I don't want everything sticking. Let me just make a mark with my pencil. I'm going to apply the glue stick directly to the cardstock. I'm really liking this Pritt stick. I think I prefer it to my Scotch, and I've used the Scotch for years. This isn't quite as gloopy, I don't think, and it seems to stick really, really well. And I like the size of these as well. These are 43 grams, whereas the Scotch ones were only 8. So I used to run out of glue quite quickly. So I'm just going to stick that down there like that. Press down with the fist of my hand, just because I can't use a bone folder because it will dislodge my tool. And then which way up does that go? And then I just want to have this here like that. Now if I'm using this to break it up, I can use a bit of a gap. So about there should be fine. Do I like that one or this one here? No, that one, decision made. So I'm just going to apply some glue stick to the back of this as well and stick this down. This is going to be a really quick and easy project. I've got all the pieces lined up. I've had a play already and I know what I want to use. So we'll stick that down there. Oh, get rid of that. I'm not using that today. And then I want this one to go in the middle. Now, again, because this is washi sticker, I've already glued this down to a piece of plain white paper, because otherwise, being see-through, being washy and see-through, you just wouldn't have seen it. And I just need to trim the edge of that, and having glued that down as well, that will just help hold that tool in place. Now I've chopped the bottom off, as you can see, and I've also glued some more of that linen fabric down to another piece of white cardstock, and I'm just going to mount this on top, just because I think that adds a really nice contrast and just breaks everything up. Let me just check which way round do I want it. No, that way round. So I'm just going to use a generous amount of 3-in-1 to do that. So lots in the middle and then just some around the outside. That will do. So we'll stick that down. Let me just make sure I get it the right way up. So I'm just going to weight that down underneath a heavy book for a minute or two, just until that glue grabs. Now I've got this wreath that I want to add to this little card. This is a Kaisercraft wreath. It was from one of their ephemera packs that I picked up from the craft fair in a bag for £1. It's too busy as it is. That's just too much. But I found this piece of duck egg colour paper. I think it was from a piece of wallpaper. I've got a feeling that the piece on the other side had flowers on it, so I've just cut a circle out using a 2-inch circle punch, and I just want to glue that onto the back. Before I do that though, I do want to ink around the edges just to grunge it up slightly. Let me just get rid of some of that ink. This is a new ink pad and the colour's quite strong, so I just want to tone that down. That's better. So I'm just going to ink around the outside and on the inside as well, just to take that stark whiteness away. I think that looks better. And then I'm just going to glue the circle on the back, just using a glue stick. There we go. That's how that looks. Much better. That's toned that down a lot. I've just used Fabri-Tac, which I'm using to glue this down. 3-in-1, sorry. So that's going to go there. I like that. And then I've got a pack of these little embellishments here. These came from one of our cheap pound type shops. I think it was from The Works. It might even have been Poundland. I'm not sure. These are stacked together using these foam pads. I'm going to take this one off for the reason being that I don't want this to be too bulky if I'm to use it in my junk journal, but I just think that looks absolutely gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? And again, we'll just use a bit of 3-in-1 just to stick that down. Do I want to ink around the edges? No, I don't think I do. I just think I'm going to add it just as it is. I think sometimes, you know, you can overdo it with the ink, especially with the more shabby chic style projects. I don't think you need ink on absolutely everything. So let's just glue that down like that. I think that's really, really cute. Isn't that pretty? And then finally, just to add a little touch of something else, I've got these 2 butterflies that my friend Laura made for me and sent me in Happy Mail. Aren't those gorgeous? I keep getting asked, what is Happy Mail? It's just goodies that you exchange with another crafty friend. Now, I think these get a little bit lost, so I'm just going to ink around the edges of these. I'm not applying any additional ink, just using the ink that's already on the sponge, and this will just define these just a little bit, just so that they don't get lost. You see, I think that's much better. And to give these a bit of dimension, I'm just going to bend in the centre. I'm going to do this one off camera because it's tiny and really fiddly, and I'll glue these down. So here are my 2 projects from this month's Tag of the Month kit. I love both of these. I think they're so pretty. They're absolutely gorgeous. Laurie, this was such a beautiful kit. Now this here could be used for all kinds of things. It could be used as a journaling card. It would make the most beautiful card topper. Here's just a piece of gold card stock here. I think that is just beautiful. I'm not going to stick mine down yet because I haven't decided how I'm going to use it. But I just hope that's given you some ideas as to how you can use these kind of kits, or even scraps that you've got in your own stash. Pull out a few bits and pieces, coordinated bits and pieces, and try something similar. But for anybody who's interested in Laurie's kit, I'll leave the links, as I've said, to Laurie's Etsy store, Piles of Paragraphs, in the description box below, together with my playlist as well, sharing all of the other tags that I've created using Laurie's kits. But if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate you hitting the bell button. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.